Welcome to the show where we talk all things weightlifting. I'm your host, Seb aka the voice of the people, and this is the Weightlifting House podcast. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Weightlifting House podcast. I'm joined by a very smiley people scientist, Joshua Gibson. I myself am the voice of the people, Seb and today we are answering your questions. And we have 36 of them. Josh, I don't know if we can get through all of these.
I don't think we can. And this takes me back to the Morning Brew we used to record as a subscriber-based podcast. And I think the tagline I came up with is, we answer your questions the way we want. So I feel kind of cheeky. We're warmed up. You're in the I win, you lose t-shirt.
I don't know how well you would do in a world of advertising. I don't know about that as a tagline. We answer your questions the way we want to. Like, is that unique, or is that just how questions tend to be answered? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I cut you off. Yeah, we're both wearing Weightlifting House tees. It's good to see.
Old school.
I saw you were wearing the Sophia tee.
Yeah, the Sophia tee.
Which we just brought out in classic blue.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Classic blue, and our podium is in blue, which is unreal. Like a classic blue. So that's sick.
I probably had a record number of people come up to me at the Arnold and grab my shirts and feel the fabric. And they're like, oh, this is a new Weightlifting House drop? It's like, yeah, you should feel it. And they're like, this is like a really nice material. Yeah, there's a by far the best showing I've ever seen for Weightlifting House. So
that's so cool. That's great to hear. And what is exciting is how it's still not everywhere.
No.
So like the potential to grow is still enormous, which is crazy. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Shall we do some cues?
We should. Okay.
Question from Sleepy Lifts, who has a great YouTube channel. I don't know if you've seen his channel, but go watch Sleepy Lifts. He says, what do you think? How many people worldwide are actively doing weightlifting? And then he did a follow-up one, which is, how many people worldwide do you think are active fans of weightlifting? So actively doing weightlifting.
Could we differentiate a little bit? Yeah, by like competitors and people who have done like snatches and clean and jerks.
I think actively doing, I don't think we can include the rugby or football players who do power cleans as part of their training. I think we need to make this people who snatch and clean and jerk at least once a week. Probably it's more like twice, for the goal of people. It could just be people who are running a weightlifting program and not even include CrossFitters.
Yeah.
So obviously in CrossFit, they might have a barbell class or whatever. These are people who, like, I'm a weightlifter, I do weightlifting training, I get to the gym twice a week, or I get to the gym 10 times a week, but that's a weightlifter.
I actually think a way to distinguish it is someone who is wanting to improve their snatch, clean and jerk in total.
As their number one goal.
Yeah, it is a goal is to improve their total. Not to train for power production, not to train to get a faster frame time, but I want to improve my total. Yeah, I want to improve my total.
Not to improve their 40-yard, it's just because they want to improve their total. Yeah. And sometimes their number one goal might be just squat more, but it's because that will help them improve their total.
Exactly.
Okay, of those people, oh my word, I mean, I feel like I'm just taking an absolute stab in the dark. I could massively, for me, it's very difficult to know what the numbers are in Asia. I just don't, I don't know enough about the culture of like what's weightlifting like in China and Thailand and Indonesia. I don't know what people are doing. I could hazard a guess in Europe and North America. I feel like I could give that a shot. I think the USA has something like 25,000 members, USAW.
Right. Yeah, like 25.
And I would have thought that it's probably like 1 in 4 people who do weightlifting are a member. I'd imagine there's 100,000, there could be more, But this isn't people who just do some weightlifting. I mean, like 100,000 weightlifters in America who are training a few times a week purely to improve their total.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you then include people who do a barbell class and know what their PR in the snatch is, because every CrossFitter knows, you're easily reaching out into the millions.
Yeah.
But just weightlifters only, 100,000. If you include Canada and the UK, you're at maybe 140,000.
Yeah.
If you include the rest of Europe, you're at 250,000.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I'd say 200,000.
Yeah. And then the rest of the Americas. And I mean, I think people who are following a weightlifting program worldwide, you might be looking at 1 million.
Yeah.
Something like that altogether max, which is not that many.
It's not that many, but that feels like a big number to me. I mean, I think I would say worldwide like 250,000.
I think there's more.
I don't think there is. I mean, maybe.
Well, you think that the USA is responsible for 40% of all of the people weightlifting in the world?
I do.
No,
I do.
You're wrong.
I mean, I think that.
Do you know how many people are in China, dude?
Available evidence would show that.
What available evidence?
All the media interests and all the publicity and all that.
That's it?
I mean, that gives you a more obvious picture, right? In China.
But do you know how big China is?
Yeah.
Do you know what their population is? They've got 2 billion people. You guys have got like 350 million.
Yeah.
They're 6 times the size.
Yeah,
population. I'm not saying they have that, and also weightlifting is a more important sport in China than it is in the USA.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I guess it really comes down to accessibility, right? Because I'm trying to think of Olympic sports that the USA would be really good at. That would be very, very popular, like a swimming or like some track event. Mm-hmm. Those are highly accessible because you're reaching it in schools.
Yeah.
And you're not really reaching it in schools, you're reaching it from like the lowest ages and levels to the top. You're getting people introduced as like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. And I guess if weightlifting has that same impact from an Olympic sports standpoint and also that same funnel, it could be significantly bigger. So
I'm going to say in the sort of the Europe and North America, I think we're at 250,000 people are running programs. Could be more, could be 300,000, something like that. In terms of fans, it depends what we count as a fan, because like I can just look up the number of people who watch Weightlifting House on YouTube, and that would give us a decent proxy. I mean, I didn't even know what to do because like if you look at unique, then it's like that would include somebody who just watched one short one time, which doesn't really feel reasonable.
That's not a fan,
I'm just going to get some numbers. I don't mind reading out the numbers.
Do you guys have data on like not like repeat customers, but like repeat
like returning viewers? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
we do.
I think that would be the most accurate data.
I just feel like so monthly audience 961,000. So and half of that basically are new viewers. Okay. So this is new people discovering. So we've got 47% of those people are defined as either casual or regular viewers. So if we do 961,000 times 0.47, we've got about 451,000 people who are watching a Weightlifting House video like on a somewhat casual to regular basis.
Okay.
And I guess that includes, and that won't even, like, I'm sure there are a lot of American weightlifters who don't watch any Weightlifting House on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it must be way bigger than that.
Yeah, it's got to be way bigger. I mean, it's got to be way bigger than participation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that, like, so the 3 biggest sports in Armenia are wrestling, weightlifting, and I can't remember what the other one was. Maybe it's just football. I think it's not. I think it's like basketball or something weird. Okay. But they have like 3 top sports, and weightlifting is one of them. So even within Armenia, there must be, I don't know what the population of Armenia is. It's probably not big. Could be like 10 million.
Yeah.
There's got to be like 1 million people who are somewhat
aware of it,
somewhat know what's going on with weightlifting.
Yeah.
Within China, it's got to be big.
It's got to be huge.
But again, I think if we went within our sort of like North America and Europe, maybe just Western Europe, people who would consider them somewhat of a fan, got to be in the low millions, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're watching Weightlifting House TV. Obviously, like it's a fraction of that, because you've got to be obsessed to get the pay-per-view. But like, I've never bought a pay-per-view for the UFC, but I've seen the fights.
Yeah. I mean, it also is who's attending meets, who's just, who used to watch a ton of it. Like, because I think I mentioned, Jim Schmitz, I mentioned those guys like Leo Todd. Like, I don't know how much they're streaming. But they're at nationals. They're at the Arnold, they're at these meets, and they're the biggest fans imaginable. In the Sports Palace in San Francisco, Jim Schmitz has like the metal plates, that were used, back in the 70s. So I would say, low millions would probably be a pretty accurate guess. I think you would have to pick up every data stream in terms of like actual viewership. And I think nationals would be a decent proxy for like international competitions. At least I'd give you a somewhat close sense. I wonder how many people watch like Chinese nationals.
What, within China?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they put it on national TV. So it's got to be somewhat. I mean, they might not show the whole thing, but they're probably at least showing highlights and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's got to be quite big.
Okay. So it's got a decent fan base.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How much do you think Weightlifting House has contributed to growing its fan base?
I have no idea. I think we're less responsible for the growth of weightlifting and more responsible for the uber fanification of weightlifting.
Yeah.
And maybe maintenance to some degree.
Uber fanification?
Yeah, I just made that up. Yeah, uber fanification. Yeah. I feel like there are more Uber fans because of Weightlifting House, for sure. Like,
it's like a Nietzschean
idea. I don't know. Yeah, right. Like maybe we've created 50 or 100,000 like Uber fans.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know what the number would be, but like in that kind of like the tens of thousands of people who have now become Uber fans of weightlifting because of us. I don't think we've created 1 million fans of weightlifting though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but I don't. It's so difficult to know. I mean, I think like the rising popularity of individual athletes and their social medias makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Like I really do. Like I think Matty Rogers having 670,000, I think is what she's on, followers is like, that's big.
Yeah. Yeah. Because someone sees Maddie do a clean and they're like, holy shit, I want to do that.
And it's amazing how little people know about, like they'd consider themselves a fan maybe because they follow her, but they don't know even who Olivia Reeves is, let alone that China's quite good, or when the world championships are, or what a world record snatch would be. Like the rings of concentric circles are so crazy. And it makes me realize like this podcast is so niche, even within weightlifting.
Yeah, incredibly.
Yeah, people just don't know that. Like we talk with you and me and Nick, we talk about like, it's only like the 1% of fans who are like, they know who, Masanori Miyamoto is. So it's like, and I guess it's the same with, I would consider myself a fan of track and field, but like I might only be able to name
handful,
like a dozen male sprinters right now.
Yeah.
But like if I was me, but in track and field, I could give you like 100. So I'd know every nationals and I know who are the top in each national. So like you know what I mean?
And I think what you're saying is you're a fan of the thing itself. Like you can be a fan of like snatches and clean and jerks and know nothing about the sport. You can also be obsessed with the athlete and know nothing about the sport. Like
how many people are fans of Noah Lyles, but they don't know anything about like what times he's running and who his competitors are.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with like Matty or Olivia potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that could generally be the case for most sports where people are like, oh shit, like, okay, this event's on. I want to either watch my favorite athlete or I just love watching this event. It's fun to watch. It's like I think what the interesting thing is about Weightlifting House, though, and I love that Uber fanification, is I think you're right. It kind of gets people more interested in, more in love with the sport. And I think it's the 6 degrees of separation thing where they end up having an impact and like having an impact on someone who's coming into the sport, and then introducing them, and then those people become obsessed and then spread that around. So it's more so touching the middle circle and then having that kind of resonate out.
Yeah. And I think the different media brands reach a different circle.
Yes.
Like I sometimes see what Tarokti does, who I saw, Alexi was there at the Arnold.
I saw him.
Yeah. He really is genuinely a really good guy. Like very nice, very, very encouraging, very friendly guy. And, but I watch some of the videos he does and I think, why are you doing that? Like, why are you explaining the dip? And then it's like, oh, because actually, like, there's a massive number of people who we don't even consider weightlifting fans who don't understand the difference between a power snatch and a snatch.
Yeah.
And I just take that for complete granted. But like, it's the same as if I was watching some fighting. I don't understand the ground game.
Yeah.
And someone would explain the difference in two things, and that would I'd be like, oh, thanks, I learned that. But somebody who knows anything about it would be like, how can you not know that?
Not know that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that you watch this and you don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
So like there are just different rings. Yeah.
Good question.
Okay. See, there are some that like I'm looking at these questions, I'm thinking, I mean, this guy, he's just decided it's a roast episode. He said, I've always thought you look like Sid the Sloth from the Ice Age, from the movie. We've had that before.
Yeah, he's late to the party.
We've had that before. And one of my best friends, he used to look like that. So we used to say that he was. And now as I've become older, I've found out that people think that I look like Sid the Sloth.
This is
and maybe it was just a joke the whole time.
It's episode of Animorphs where you slowly just turn into Sid the Sloth.
Yeah. But low-key, I think Josh looks like Sid the Sloth too.
We look similar.
I think we both. I think I genuinely... But I don't think you and I look that similar. I mean, I guess we're kind of similar. Like, we've got pretty bushy eyebrows. Yeah. Like, we've got a bit of facial hair. You know? Deep set eyes? Is that a thing? Do I have that? Well, I've never even heard that. Now I'm being told I've got deep set eyes. Is that good or is that bad? That doesn't sound good to me. Sunken eyes, like halfway through the skull.
I'm losing my shit right now. That is hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than protruding, like, insect eyes, I guess. Is that the opposite? You've got deep set or you've got, like, bulging frog eyes? All right. I'll take the deep set. Okay, next one. Oh, these questions. Connor Lynch. Is chalky milk the #1 half natty supplement?
I don't even know how that would become a flicker in his brain to ask. Chalky milk?
Yeah, chocolate milk. I mean, back when I was like, chalky. Yeah. Chocolate milk. Chalky milk. It's a good way to get protein in. It's a good way to get calories in. I'm not really in that vibe anymore. These days, I'm like more counting my calories to make sure I don't drink things like chalky milk. But as a young weightlifter who's just trying to get calories in, there's nothing wrong with that.
So we're so ancient and as far as like weightlifting and lifting goes, where people coming in are like, which pre-workout should I take? Should I take creatine? And it's like, these are questions I haven't even cared to think about in a decade.
No.
Yeah, they're just...
It's true.
It's the same thing with like, oh, should I actually hook grip all of my lifts? Like, it's like, yes, you should hook grip.
Yeah, that's the sort of video that Alexi might do. What's the hook grip? And it's like, oh, I didn't know that people didn't know that. Yeah. But of course, if you're a fan of weightlifting, how would you know that people are hook gripping if you've only watched it?
All strength and conditioning, for the most part, no one is doing a hook grip. I don't know. Like, I don't know why people just don't want to do it. And it's like...
hurts their thumbs.
People say that, yet they're in like a contact sport. Does that make sense? Right. Like, it hurts my thumbs, like, but you're going to get spearheaded by someone running down a field.
I crushed my thumb yesterday in between 2 10-kilo dumbbells. And
that must have been painful. Small weights are surprisingly painful if they drop on you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Or smash you, yes.
Yeah. Okay, next one. New to the sport, what makes the world record of the Arnold unofficial What needs to be different to make it official? That's just a simple one. It's not an IWF meet, IWF International Weightlifting Federation. It has to be a meet that they are sanctioning to count as a world record, which I think is fair. You can't set a world record at the nationals or in your gym to push it to its crazy extent. The IWF have to say this is our meet, and you can set a world record there.
Yeah, and on the powerlifting side, you would declare. So at the Arnold, you can set world records. You would declare it's a world record. You would tell them, they'd write it on the card. In powerlifting, they would bring out judges who are certified or qualified to judge that lift. I think I don't know if that would make sense, but at major national competitions in the U.S., I could see it being a worthwhile thing where it's like, hey, this is going to be a world record. Bring out the officials who can actually judge that correctly, to the standard. But I think that would then reduce to some extent. I would reduce that interest, pressure, hype at Worlds, where it's like, okay, this is where you can really start to get into the record books.
Right. So. Yeah. Okay. Should I? Yeah. Well, I think this is fine. Yeah, what happened to you and Max with a crying face? I mean,
that's a question to you, bud.
Yeah, I know. I sort of waited because I thought maybe you would just answer it and just deal with it.
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's like, I think it's all fine. Basically, Max ultimately, mistakes, and just to be fair, mistakes were made on both sides. Yeah. It's an interesting one when you have a business relationship with somebody who's also a friend. It just pushes things a little bit.
Yes,
is the honest truth of it. And Max got extremely busy with his weightlifting AI and then Coach Logic. We at the same time were removing ourselves from it, which isn't an easy thing to deal with. For us to be like, look, we're pulling out essentially, and you're doubling down, that's not easy. And then it got to the point where Max, understandably, was choosing to spend time working on that rather than coming out to a competition.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, I had to find somebody who could come and do the competitions instead of Max, and that was Sergey. Thank goodness, because he's wonderful. And I would love to do some competitions with Max again.
Yeah.
And I imagine, I don't speak to Max much anymore, but I imagine that he would probably love to come and do some competitions as well at some point. Yeah. We just haven't gotten back to that point where, Sergey's become a default. He's really good. He's very professional. He's very reliable. And so it's just, it's great working with him. At some point, I'd love to have Max on the mic. I'd love to have Max and Sergey on the mic. I think they'd be great. And I think at times where I can't do it, they'd be a wonderful duo together because they're good friends as well. So nothing really happened between Max in that sense. Max and I we've never yelled at each other. We've never been like, screw you. We've never done any of those sorts of things. Okay. It was more just, we had to pull out of weightlifting AI because it wasn't what we were doing as a company. It doesn't make sense. And it wasn't necessarily going where we thought it was going to go. And Max had to double down on it because it's his thing, it's his baby, it's what he works on, and he wakes up thinking about it. And so those two things, they just weren't compatible, and it just pushed us a little bit. But other than that, I don't think there's anything. I mean, you sent me a message the other day, Josh, because you and Max were at the Arnold, and I was like, I would love to see Max or something, and you were like, we should set up, me and Max coming out to the UK or something. Like that's the sort of thing where I'm just 100% down for that. And I think probably Max is as well. It's just that guy's got a busy schedule.
Yeah.
He's busier than I am.
Yeah.
Running, trying to build Coach Logic. That is more unsocial hours, more waking up and at crazy times and working till 1 a.m. I don't do that anymore with Weightlifting House. We built something that works. People run it now. And I work very hard, but we're at different stages of that. And that man is busy in a way that is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt that, it's always been cordial. We're great friends. I mean, when we were
there are
doing
frustrations, of course. I'm sure there were frustrations from him to me and me to him, obviously, but that's fine.
Yeah. And a lot of that is just, as you mentioned, we're all great friends. We've been great friends for a very long time. Because of that, we kind of get involved with each other's like stuff going on. And then when it doesn't work or it does work, it's like more so addressing the thing that's not working. So if I'm like coaching with Max and I'm like, hey, it's been a year and my bio's not up on the website, I don't feel like this makes it's like that's like a weird thing. It's like, okay, but as a person, I love Max and spending time with him and hanging out with him, and actually contemplating moving back to work with him. So it's like, okay, we're all great friends. The business stuff can be its own separate experience, but I think 100%. People on the outside see it as being like the relationship. It's like, oh, the business, whatever, is falling apart. It's like, it doesn't matter that much as long as it's not malicious.
I would love to like go out and get food and hang out with Max. And I know instantly we'd be like giggling and telling funny stories, and it would be like giggling. It would be an unbelievable time. Yeah. And realistically, like the whole Weightlifting House, Weightlifting AI collab that we did was really beneficial for both parties. Yeah. Like it came at a very tough time for Weightlifting House where like post or late pandemic, like it wasn't easy. Like growing as a company was crazy. And then within the case of like a few months, we got into weightlifting AI as an opportunity and then doing commentary. Yeah, commentary. That was insane. That was insane. Those two things happened within half a year and totally helped and transformed us and got us out of a tough period. Yeah. And in hindsight, if neither of those things happened, I don't know where we'd be. Yeah. And at the same time, like the number of people that Max got on weightlifting AI in that first year is crazy, really. And probably that's because of our promotion of it. Yeah. After the first year or so, we got to the point where we were growing so well as a company, we didn't need to be in that space and we wanted to put our resources elsewhere. And also Max probably wasn't getting enough back from us because of that recognition. Like we weren't doing enough for weightlifting AI anymore. And so the partnership had a great value at the start and then just less so over time. And it just made sense. I think ultimately we wanted out, and probably he wanted us out at that point because he was like, you know what, you guys gave us the boost we needed, but like the long-term effect maybe isn't as big as he'd have hoped. Yeah. And, we were just like heavily going in on like coverage and clothing and accessories and trying to create equipment that, elite lifters wore. We weren't trying to build a program.
Yeah. Well, and I've spoken to you about this when you travel for competitions to commentate. And I've talked to Max about this, like when we were in Korea. I mean, even at the Arnold, those trips aren't easy. And one, like, it's a big commitment on the front end for time and energy and like space and a schedule for travel, all those things. And then on the back end, like trying to recover from a trip like that is insane. And when you have a lot going on, there are opportunities I have to pass up being in school. And I passed up more and more and more as I've gotten deeper and deeper into the program, like seminars and travel and other camps and opportunities like that. I don't pass those up lightly. And I know Max didn't pass the commentary up lightly. It's not like he was like, it's fucking stupid. It's like, no, traveling for multiple weeks and having the work schedule kind of derailed is going to be hard to recover from. And when you're really reliant on that time, it does make it really difficult. So it makes sense.
I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say me and Max do commentary again. Like I think that will happen. Okay. I just don't think it's going to happen right now. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to. Okay. Next one. Any future ideas for Weightlifting House documentaries and concepts to work with other media like Turokti? I don't think so. I don't think we would ever work with another media company to do it. I don't see what the value there would be. Oh, I mean, the thing is, like, our media companies make money from products outside of media. Yeah. Like Turokti makes money from programs and thumb tape and straps and that sort of thing. Yeah. And then we make money from products. So sharing media to then ultimately use as a funnel to promote two competing. Yes. It's not competing in some ways. Like we have different markets. Like we don't really cross over a huge amount, I don't think. But like I just don't think it would make sense necessarily. Yeah. I could see it more being with companies who don't have the product arm, like, working with ATG or working with YKS or working with 1 kilo, where, and by 1 kilo, I don't mean Wolf Fleming's 1 kilo, I mean Jen's 1 kilo.
Yeah.
Because they are amazing at their filming and their media is so good. And so working with them to be like, hey, could you shoot this for us? Would be more likely to happen than, like, Weightlifting House and Hook Grip are not going to make a documentary together. Like, it would just be the weirdest thing. Like, I like Nat and Nat likes me. I actually have a photo. This is such a niche thing. I have a photo. This is crazy. I have a photo in my wallet of me and Nat together.
Oh, that's so funny.
I don't even have a photo of my daughter or my wife. Yeah, it's a Polaroid, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, of me and Nat hanging out, sat down
the two ugliest men in the world. Together. Yep.
Wow. Okay. I'll take that. As long as I'm not the ugliest, I'm just number 2.
As long as I'm not the ugliest.
So yeah, probably not. But yeah, we'll have a more obvious direction as to who we're going to do documentaries with over the coming weeks, who we can then hopefully follow more over the coming quad. That's what I'll say to that. So yeah, more documentaries, just not collabing with other media companies to do them. What I'd like to do is I'd like to support the new media channels on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sleepy Lifts, who I mentioned earlier, Some Serious Weight, Adrenaline Federation. Like, I'd love to find a way to support them somewhat, but that's kind of different. They do different things.
So what you're saying, and I love the fact you mentioned that, is the way I feel when I'm like in the back room and I have athletes competing and I have people who are there with me and I'm like, hey, can you go count? Can you make a change? And it's like, okay, these people are obviously interested in competing in weightlifting, potentially coaching it, and they could have an impact. So it's like, let's actually like bring them in. Like I was talking to Max yesterday about someone who helped me in the back room when I was coaching powerlifting and then coaching weightlifting at the same time. And my girl ended up going 6 for 6 all-time PRs. Carly fucking smashed it. She's such a gamer. And the person who helped her, I was like, oh shit. She was really professional, really on her shit. I was like, Max, you should talk to her about if we have some like trying to build a team, trying to get something going, maybe get some more weightlifting up in the Pacific Northwest of the US, trying to build that out. Like, fuck, create a relationship, like bring them in. And I feel like that's what you're kind of doing. Everyone starts filming their first session, coaching their first athlete, but not everyone gets access to the same resources. So
yeah. So we have some questions about USA. 3 questions on USA athletes, 4 actually, which we could just run through very quickly because we kind of just covered so much about the Arnold.
We did.
So it might not be worth it. One of them is where to go for Hampton, which I assume means like
up.
Considering Hampton bombed out, what? I don't think Hampton needs to change anything. He's a very good weightlifter.
Yeah.
Obviously, he is a clean and jerk specialist.
Yeah.
He has snatched 140, but he's clean and jerk like high 180s now.
Yeah.
He's cleaned 190. He's jerked it. He's set 2 world records. This is one very bad meet. And he's had a few, I'm sure a lot of his performances, he feels like he wished he'd have made 3 snatches, and he often doesn't. But he's doing so well. I wouldn't change something based off this. I mean, he's still young, like more experience, more competitions.
And honestly, it's one of the things we love about weightlifting. You can snatch 137 and fucking blow it up in training, and then go out and miss 135 3 times on a competition platform because it's the perfect middle ground between technique and bar feel and movement and fucking strength. It's such a beautiful combination of the two. So I mean, anyone can have their worst day or their best day and not have predicted it.
Yeah, I mean, if someone granted me, they were like, you're now granted me some wish or like infinite ability, and they said you have to change something to do with Hampton's programming, and it could cause a problem or it could maybe help. The area that I would say maybe the change could come from would be the peaking. Just because I feel like I noticed from him more than other athletes, he hits more bigger lifts in training than he does in competition. It's the same with a lot. Like I see Matty Rogers hit some crazy doubles and jerks and hip snatches in training, and then maybe she doesn't hit as big in competition. But I notice it from Hampton more. Like he'll double like his world record clean and jerk in training, but then not equal the clean and jerk in competition. That might just be how he is, and it might be that tweaking his peaking would mess him up completely. But that if I had to go in there with my completely ridiculously poor amount of knowledge of his training, and him and Tripp are just incredible. I don't want to suggest that anything could be done to improve Hampton because he's so good. But like possibly that side of things, but I don't think he should change basically anything. I mean, he's an amazing athlete. He's got an amazing coach, and he's got an insane work ethic. And like one day he'll be a world champion, and I'm sure he can win another Olympic medal, set more world records. So he's good.
Yeah, I mean, if all of like programming and coaching were a one-to-one, had a one-to-one relationship with like training theory, we'd all be freaking great, right? Because the idea of peaking is like, increase specificity, decrease volume, increase intensity, and you have all these changes, right? And then you have athletes who are like in the middle of a program freaking blow up and hit, massive doubles, massive triples, lifts you would have never imagined. And then you go to peak and you're like, that did not work and didn't come close to how I thought it would. For example, like on the international stage, we see massive block and hang lifts. And then you're not going to get close to those numbers. One, because it's not the same movement, but also because you don't know how many attempts they took before it. You don't know how long they've been training that movement, how much volume they're allocating to it, all these things, right, that add up. And then you say, okay, but we should be able to take that performance in the middle of a training cycle and make it even better when it matters most on a specific day at a specific time, under the constraints of weighing in, lifting in front of a crowd, all these things.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It is difficult. It's difficult to do.
Definitely. And it could even just be that Hampton posts more of his lifts than other people. So you see the massive lifts that he's hitting in training. Yeah. And therefore you notice that he doesn't necessarily hit them on the international stage.
Right.
Okay, another one. We'll do it quickly. What's your opinion on Aaron Williams' performance? Very strong, super heavyweight from USA, 185, 233. I wondered if he did the 233 just because it's a kilo more than Colby made. And so it's just like, just want to make sure that I am still the strongest clean and jerker in the USA, even if I weigh a bit more. But yeah, he did really well. He's moved over to work with Will Fleming. So excited to see how he does. He can definitely qualify for the Olympics. That's got to be
easily
the least of his goals, I think, at this point. Then there's what's the reason for the current explosion of USA weightlifting and its sustainable increase in growth? It's a mixture. I mean, I really think it's everybody thought that it was that back in 2011, 12, and 13, CrossFit was making a big difference, and it was. It was funneling a load of 30, 40, 50-year-old people who were not very athletic into weightlifting. But 15, 20 years later, their children who've been involved in weightlifting since they were 4 years old or CrossFit have suddenly turned into adults who are amazing at weightlifting. So that's a huge part of it. It's like the kids of the people who did weightlifting. Olivia Reeve's parents owned a CrossFit box. Like, Harrison Maris.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say Harrison Maris, like he was involved in CrossFit from a young age. Like I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Sophie Shaft has been to the games like multiple times. Has been to the CrossFit Games, and now she's the second best weightlifter in the USA by Sinclair. Yeah. So I think CrossFit still played a huge part. And then there's just think how much more of a gym culture there is now than there was 10 years. 20 years ago, like I was weird for wanting to go to the gym when I was 12 years old. Yeah. Like that was a weird thing. Nobody did it. There were very few. There's like 4 influencers online. I remember being like 14 or whatever and buying protein shakes from the vending machines at like gyms. And they came in like glass bottles and they were made to look like medicine. They tasted awful. And it's like, that was like, it just wasn't a thing. And now like the protein shakes that I buy, they taste delicious. There's gyms on every corner. Like everybody's an influencer. It's like gym culture has just grown so much. Yeah. And so many, I think more on the women's side, so many women value strength over just aesthetics, whereas I think men are a little bit more fickle in some ways. And, we want to look a certain way. Women are like, no, I want to actually be physically capable. I want to be strong. I want to like move well. And like weightlifting is just one of the doors that allows you to access that. So I think just the general growth of the fitness world is huge.
No, and a movement away from the like niche kind of quirky, weird ways that people want to identify. So I think of powerlifting. I think of the influence of powerlifting in West Side. It's like the person who personifies West Side is not what everyone wants to identify or personify. Right. But like young LA Gymshark, like that's kind of the look, right? And so you get people who are interested in training now. I think Weightlifting House has moved in this, is occupying the space of really just cool and trendy, not like, oh, we're like super macho and hardcore and, bleed through our nose every time we squat heavy. It's like, actually, no one gives a fuck about that. And we can be just as strong as you and actually still be cool, right? So I think it's like getting away from that weird kind of like dusty corner of the back room kind of feel, and actually like, oh, this can be popular, it can be cool, it can be fashionable, all those things that is actually what weightlifting is. So I like that it's getting more of that limelight rather than the kind of weird, that weird space it was in.
I mean, like, think of like Matty Rogers is sponsored by Jocko. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
like that. I mean, that is like that. Like that. The fact that there's any weightlifter who has that level of like they've been picked up by a brand like that. Who would, I don't even know how you'd describe that brand, but it's like sort of like a little bit military, a little bit jiu-jitsu-ish, a little bit like rucking.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of, and they picked up Matty. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, what next? We have one about Olivia snatching 130, but we've just covered that so many times. I just can't do it. She might hit it in training. Who knows?
Here we go. Just make one concession at a time. Maybe in training, maybe at a national competition, maybe at
an Arnold, maybe. I will say I would love her to do it.
Yeah. I know you're not saying that because you're like, I don't want her to. It's like, no, I just think that's a matter of fact thing.
So next one from Jake. Shout out to Jake. He writes Jake? For us. He writes our weightlifting newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Jake.
He says, how much does weightlifting's popularity depend on having a new Olivia or Carlos type person every 5 to 10 years?
Probably a tremendous amount.
Yeah, I think a lot.
A lot.
I think they're like the poster boy, poster girl of the sport. Like
we
had it was Klokov, Ilya, Lou, Lasher, Carlos, and on the women's side, it's kind of been more internationally based and maybe not as popular, like Deng Wei, Tatiana Kasharina, and now it's moving closer to like a financially more like prosperous market. It was Matty and a little bit of Kate Viber, and now definitely Olivia. And I think if you can get a new few of those every few years to really like push it, somebody who athletes and fans can look at and think, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
I think that makes a huge difference. And if you lose Carlos and if you lose Olivia, you really are looking around thinking like, who can we?
Yeah.
Who can these fans get behind? And there's lots of amazing athletes, but you get a few like diamonds in the rough every now and then who can really transform a sport.
Well, and I've said this years ago, talking to Olivia, but like she's an icon, and I think you need that overlap. Yeah, I mean the same thing with Carlos. The whole like I win you lose thing is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a good tagline. I think
is like whole boxing,
which got stolen, by the way. Can I just call them out? I love them. They're great. Lu Xiaojun, great shoes. Not that I've lifted in them, but clearly they're great, and all of that stuff. But we came up with I win you lose. It doesn't exist on Carlos. He doesn't have I win you lose tattooed on him as a phrase. I think it says he might have you lose or you lost. I think it has you lost. You lost is tattooed on him. Okay. But the whole I win you lose, that was our thing.
I didn't know.
And then they came out with shoes that say I win you lose. And someone commented like, that looks a bit seen that before at Weightlifting House. And I commented and I was like, yeah, definitely seen that one before. And then someone from Lu Xiaojun commented on it. It was like, yeah, Carlos's phrase, his like saying, I win, you lose. I was like, it's not his, like it is his thing now, but I mean, that's our fault. We should just trademarked it.
Oh yeah. That's actually smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we trademarked Home of Champions, Chosen by Champions.
Chosen by Champions, yeah.
Which is really cool. I love that as a like a tagline, Chosen by Champions. Yeah. So good.
But I think anyway. you get that overlap where you have Carlos, who's an absolute stud, one of the best athletes in the sport, incredibly interesting and like extroverted and out there. And I mean, you get that with Olivia, where she's just like so interesting, so talented. People just they're just attracted to her naturally. And then you get those people coming in, and then I think it kind of just raises the tide for everyone. To where then they're like, collabs with Olivia and, Meredith Allwine and Mary Tyson Lappin and, where it's like able to facilitate that growth for everyone who's involved in that space.
Right.
So
right.
I think it's, I think, every 5 to 10 years. Who do you think's next occupying that space?
I think you don't know. I think that's part of it. Like you can't necessarily.
You try to anticipate it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Salford has more of an opportunity. She doesn't necessarily need to take it or want to take it, but I really think she could be really huge.
Yeah.
And on the men's side, it's difficult. Like, it's really difficult on the men's side to predict. I mean, like Rahmat or Rizki, they've kind of got a lot of like, there's something there, but like, I don't know if it's going to quite reach like a full like Western market as much.
Yeah.
Like to some degree, I wonder like if we weren't always talking about them, would people be talking about them, or are we making that exist? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, there's some new Chinese lifters coming in. Tu Yi's coming in. He's like he's going to be there 88. Giga Chad's always fun. People like him. But again, like he doesn't speak any English. He doesn't. I mean, something that's very interesting is Jason Lopez, Colombian world champion at 88, world record holder. He posted a video on Instagram and he's talking to the camera and doing like a day in the life. And he's, this technology has been available for a while, but it's come to Instagram more. He's speaking in English. He's speaking Colombian naturally, but it's coming out as English, and his lips and his mouth are moving as though he's saying it in English. Yeah. And when I saw this, I was like, weird. That is going to change everything. Because now he has access to a English-speaking market. He can talk, and it sounds like how he would sound if he was speaking English.
Yeah.
And so these athletes who are kind of locked away from certain markets, like Akbar Jarayev, can just start talking, and everybody in America can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Rahmat can do it, and everybody knows. Like that could make a massive difference. Because one of the problems with like Liu Hanhua and Tian Tao and Shi Jiong was that they didn't have an ability to speak to the Western market. And so Yilin, squat journalists, would help with that, facilitating the interviews and the translation. But if Giga Chad can just pick up this camera and just start talking about how he's feeding and training and what he wants to hit and who he's trying to beat at Worlds, which he won't do, but like the fact that he could do that and it be translated to English, dubbed properly, would be like, that really opens up the market in an exciting way.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. What do you think about Litkov leaving Carlos's camp? I think I've covered this a little bit. Litkov, Atanas Litkov, wonderful guy. Ultimately, like, you can either hang around Carlos until the end of his career, or you can use what you've gained from Carlos as a springboard to launch your own thing. And I totally think it's very fair that he's done that. Like, him and Carlos are boys. He really helped Carlos out, I think, tremendously by giving him stability and like real friendship and real backing. But now, he wants to open his own thing. He doesn't want to travel all the time. He's got a kid and a wife. Like,
wow. What's he doing now?
Like performance massage, like open up a studio, hopefully get some big name athletes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Okay. Which lifter has out-techniqued their strength and which has out-strengthed their technique?
Yeah. Out-strength their technique. I mean, Aaron Williams, top of mind, like, it's just a brute.
Out-strengthed his technique.
Yeah, I mean, you watch that 233, there's nothing like overwhelmingly graceful about it. And I like
Colby as well a bit.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the difference, like Colby
Hampton, maybe
like he's
a little bit
kind of in the right positions. Like his jerk's not that bad. It's a little unstable. Colby's pull's freaking insane.
Insane.
Yeah, Hampton. Yeah, like a snatch for sure.
For sure. He's just got crazy leg strength.
Yeah.
Like I bet Hampton can back squat over 250, and I bet he can deadlift over 250.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane levels. As far as technique goes, that's a tricky one. Who do you think has the best technique in weightlifting? Let's go international level.
Oh my god! I hate being put on the spot.
You got men's side, women's side.
Oh god. And this is not an enjoyable part of the podcast to listen to. I think that some people who I love how they move are the Team Turkey athletes. I think Mohammed Ozbek moves beautifully, but not him. I think, and these are not well-known lifters, but I would say Ferdi Hardal and Khan Kariman. You're going to see them in A sessions at the Worlds, and they might medal at the Europeans. And we're talking like 65, 75 kilo weightlifters. Those two, I think they just move so beautifully. I love seeing them lift. Maybe like someone like Masanori Miyamoto, Japan 79, just like clearly can't squat as much as the others, but it's just like moves so beautifully.
Yeah.
I think I'd go there. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think, and you've been watching weightlifting more than I'd imagine, out of every single person in weightlifting, very few would rival the amount of weightlifting you've watched, both like current and past, in terms of like 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Certainly live weightlifting, I've probably seen more than anyone because I'm literally watching every session.
Yeah. Do you think, how do you feel that the quality of lifting from like an aesthetic standpoint has changed, if at all? It's like, I think about just like the people who I think in terms of the most beautiful technique would probably be people I just have watched videos from in the 90s, just in terms of like timing, turnover, just the way the lift looks, a Vardanian-esque style of pull and technique. Like the Russians for sure had it like locked in,
Yeah,
like,
they did.
Thinking back.
In the 21st century, the Russians moved amazingly.
They move so beautifully. And thinking about it now, I don't think it quite has that same level of like grace and detail. I don't know what it is about like the difference. I don't know if it's training style, coaching, but I think on average technique's probably improved, looks better. But I think peak technique was kind of late 90s, early 2000s.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I've noticed much, honestly, except that on average people have gotten physically weaker compared to like the 80s over time. And then at the moment, and it's been in like ups and downs, so like it's certainly not been a linear thing. But like every 10 years people are lifting a little bit less, and maybe currently we're on like an upward thing. I think over the last few years and for the next few years, performances are going to go back up again. I mean, it's possible that like with the loss of like the massive school of like a Russian team, you just see more random technique.
More variable technique.
They all just look the same. Yeah, more variable. So there's just more styles now.
Yeah.
I would say like, I feel like I can watch people and be like, there are some countries where I just know where it's from. If I saw a silhouette of a of a South Korean, I would know for sure who it was. Japanese, I definitely would know.
What about like Iranian?
Iranian, definitely. Yeah, that's a good one. I would know. But then, like,
what about like
USA?
Egypt?
Like you wouldn't know because there's so many different. Yeah. Egypt. No, I think there are. I mean, I'm really only thinking of like 3 or 4 lifters, and they're all quite. Actually, 5 lifters I'm thinking from Egypt. They all got different bodies.
Okay.
Like on the women's side, like Sarah Ahmed, she's amazing, 2-time world champ, very short limbs. And then you've got WLHOUSE, who's the new person, extremely long limbs. So just very different styles of lifting, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I go to another question?
Yeah, let's do it.
One of them is about my weekly programming structure. I don't think that's a fun one to answer, so I'm not going to do that. Do you think Miso's best lifts are behind him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw him do 180 in person. That was very, very big. He hasn't done that in comp, but 180, I've seen him do twice actually. And then did he do 232 in a training session? I remember that. And 228 in competition, I think. I don't think he'll do those again. He's also coming down to the 94 class, which is what he was when he hit them, to be fair. But I don't think he'll come back and beat those again.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made an error by asking for questions on top of an Olivia video. So people think that I'm interviewing her. So a lot of the questions are all about her.
About Olivia.
I just needed something to put up. Yeah. I was kind of meant to be ask questions about the Arnold or something.
Yeah.
Let me see. Will there be collections with female athletes in the future? Yes. Yes, there will. One of the we'd already mentioned about doing this collab with Mihaela Kambe, and we were basically all ready to go. And then, just to be transparent, because I think that's one of the things we always try and do, she ended up signing a contract with SBD.
Yeah.
And then we spoke to SBD about it because we sort of to us that doesn't matter. I'm very happy for athletes to have deals with other companies, but SBD aren't necessarily happy for her to do anything with us now. So we are having to put a halt on that, which is a real shame. We're still talking to them to see if there's a way where they will be okay with it, because she seems pretty okay with it and we are. But I understand that they're a different company, they do things differently, and maybe that's how most sports work. To be fair, weightlifting operates a pretty new commercially sport to some degree. Athlete deals are a little bit more ad hoc and random, so maybe that's just the direction we're going. But yeah, as it stands right now, we do not have that coming out, which is a shame. But maybe at some point. But yeah, we will do stuff with more athletes for sure.
Yeah, I know we've spoken about this on many podcasts because I think it's a big point. SBD moving into weightlifting.
Yeah,
but it just feels like you're trying to wear the right You're trying to wear your left shoe on your right foot. Does that make sense? So it can be similar equipment, but the fit is so strange. To think of SBD coming from coaching powerlifting for about as long as I've coached weightlifting, transitioning into this market. It just feels like they're going to try to play catch up to do something that other companies are already doing or doing relatively well. I don't think there's anything that's going to differentiate them. I don't think they're going to do anything special. It's just more so a way for their business to grow. And that's kind of frustrating, because what Weightlifting House would do with that deal, in my opinion, is produce something unique, really cool, like the Dynasty collection. I don't know who else would do that or would have done that. Capturing an aspect of weightlifting from an athlete or country or cultural perspective, and then personifying that in a clothing line. SBD is not going to do that, which is fine, but it's just kind of annoying or frustrating that they're trying to block others from doing it.
Well, I think we can everyone can sort of coexist to some degree. It's just going to be different. I think the sport's just going to change. Did you feel it when do you think, when Tyr got into weightlifting, do you think people felt the same?
Honestly, I don't know what Tyr does besides those cool shoes that are the kind of retro style.
Tyr is massive. It's way bigger than.
And what I mean by that is they haven't differentiated themselves in a meaningful enough way that it's again, using Weightlifting House, because it actually does capture the point I'm trying to make, is the 90s collection is something that's unique to the sport, different, and I think builds the sport.
Okay.
Tyr coming in and providing a shoe, or Liu Jiajun coming in and providing a shoe, it's you're just providing a weightlifting shoe that exists, yeah, maybe you have like a unique iteration. It's got a different colorway, but like that doesn't build the sport. Like you're trying to get sales within the sport. And I think a lot of the clothing companies, that basically, these companies are building their backs or building on top of would be like a Cafe and Kilos did that, differentiated themselves, provided something unique to weightlifting, something that was like culturally kind of special at the time, and obviously it's like changed and grown, but those are the companies I'm like big fans of, So I think
I want to see I want to see brands coming in and growing the sport.
Yeah.
That's the main, like coming in and capitalizing on the market, that is one thing. But if they do that whilst also growing the sport, creating amazing media and reaching more fans and building the sport, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
That's what I love to see. I love to see that. So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, to answer that question, currently Mahela Kambe collab is not happening. And actually that happened with another athlete who we're doing something with who I hadn't announced yet, and then the exact same thing. So that's a shame. Okay. I was going to say, should we do some more questions? But we've basically just done an hour. So maybe actually we...
are there any left that are...
There are lots of other questions.
Yeah. Let's get one more to finish off of.
Okay. I just don't know... Questions about documentaries, questions about product sizes. Okay, it's very USA centric. Will the USA have over or under 3.5 medals in LA?
3.5.
Yeah, so will they have 4 or more, or 3 or less? 3 or fewer?
Okay. I would say in LA. So we did this in the Arnold podcast. You kind of said who you thought would be going. Who do you think's going to go to the LA Olympic Games?
Miranda in the 53, Sophie Shaft, Olivia Reeves, Mary Tyson Lappin, and then Hampton, Caden Cahoy, Colby Ferguson, and Aaron Williams.
Okay.
Those are the 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to say... I'm gonna. Well, I don't even know what the term was. That was going to be ridiculous. I was going to say I'm going to poo on the party. Is that even a phrase?
Shit on the show.
I'm going to say 3. Shit on the show. I'm going to say 3. I think they can get 4. I think they can totally get 4.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say 3 medals.
Yeah. I'm not just saying this because you said it. My gut reaction was 4, hearing the names.
Yeah.
And then I thought, in a perfect world, on perfect days, in a very predictable, and then it's like, I think I would probably drop that because it's not going to be a perfect world for everyone where they have their best performances ever and their competitors don't. And it's going to be more competitive. It's going to be more of a game. It's going to be who shows up. So I would say in a perfect world 4, and then I would say probably less than that.
4, I mean, even 5 is it's definitely possible.
Who's the 5th?
If everything goes well. Well, I mean, so you could have Hampton. You could potentially have Colby even getting a bronze. So you never know.
You think Colby would medal? Okay, because I didn't. I
don't think he. I think it's less likely.
Yeah,
it's more likely that he doesn't. But like, in just terms of like what's possible, it's possible that he does.
Yeah, it is possible.
But more so on the women's side. I mean, Miranda could.
Sophie could. Olivia,
obviously, and then potentially even Coach Mary. Like, you never know what Mary would do.
Coach Mary. Yeah.
So it's possible that there's like all 4 women could, and it's possible that. I mean, it's possible that 2 to 3. I think it'll be 3.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think it'll be 3. But who knows?
Yeah, that was a great question.
Yeah, that's a good question and a good place to wrap up.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you follow Josh. Josh_Phil WL. That's PHILWL. If you want some coaching, if you want some good programming, go hit up the People's Scientist. And follow Weightlifting House everywhere else. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you all on another episode of the Weightlifting House podcast.